How is it raising a girl, a young lady?
So I like to tell people the truth.
Let's do that. That's what you're here for.
I'm gonna start with the truth. My daughter was first, so I made all my mistakes with her.
They say from what I understand, they say you get a girl not because you were a player, but because you need to understand what love is.
And that is as accurate of a statement as I had ever heard. You know, um, and it's not so much that I needed to understand what love is, but I needed to understand how to present it. You know, how to present myself as love to someone, and then how to receive it, because that presentation happens, sporadically throughout life. As men, as we grow up in this society, unless you grow up around a lot of girls or a lot of sisters, aunties and stuff like that, and seeing them interact in their relationships, and then having a close bond with them, you really don't. You don't get a concrete learning tool that helps you talk to women, how to listen to women, how to understand needs versus wants versus what I can do, what I shouldn't do, things like that. So my daughter, being the very expressive young lady that she is, and the brilliant young lady that she is, forced me to deal with emotions that I hadn't dealt with. Even, I was married to a mother, and we were in a 5-year relationship prior to her coming into the world. So, I was 22 years old when Taylor was born. And up to that 22 years of my life, I can really say I had never really listened to a woman until my daughter started to talk to me. And now I think it's one of my skills that I pride myself on the most, being able to listen and really understand what's being said to me, was probably the biggest takeaway from raising a daughter. It's got its ups and downs.
I'm sure it does.
Yeah. Especially knowing, and it's not so much ups and downs with in my case with my daughter so much, it's the ups and downs with knowing society, so what society's expectations of a woman are, what society will put on her, unknowingly and or undeservedly, the things that are going to get, that she may have to experience as obstacles and attrition towards her, trying to teach her how to navigate those things.
Absolutely.
Was the probably the hardest part for me,
because you got to give her that education away from what she gets at school. She needs to have that daddy education.
Yeah, because you need to have this life education. What they give you at school allows it's just tools in a toolbox, but getting through life, that's the real education.
Absolutely. And she has to learn she has to know how to deal with people and men who may try to be a suitor, or guys that are going to try and play on her.
Absolutely.
And it's important for
guys
you
and girls,
yeah,
and indifferent, and not even from a gender role space, but socioeconomically, or just classism in general, understanding certain things and scenarios. She allowed me to learn how to coach. I learned how to coach from raising a daughter, and now I coach my son's basketballs and football teams. So wow. it's helped, be able to break things down to the most minute values, and then build those things up in a person. I believe I have her to thank for that.
Awesome. That's awesome to hear, man. Because I was having that conversation with one of my buddies, and I was like, "Yo, I keep hearing this saying that sounds better than what I've been hearing. Oh, God gave you a girl because you were a player or whatever, blah blah, to teach you a lesson. And one of my friends who's married, he's like, man, he said, I love both my girls, man. He said, I think he was like, bro, I think they got it wrong. God or nature gives you girls so you understand what love is and how it actually comes into play for you. Like, because if you never had it, this is going to be the time that you really learn what it is. Because she's going to give you everything that you can handle, and the things that you don't want to handle too.
And it's the most purest form. There's no walking away from it, right? This isn't like a romantic relationship where you could be fed up with no, you have to learn, deal with this, figure things out, the hard stuff, the good stuff, you know.
You gotta learn how to temper certain things, the way you say certain things. Yeah.
And I'm not the keenest at it all the time, but we have a relationship where we can talk about anything. And that's the biggest thing. Because she knows she can come to me about anything, you know. And that's something that in a father-daughter relationship, it pays the most dividends.
I like to hear that, man. I like to hear that.